This is the Lancer Locker Show on KYNT. Now, let's talk some Mount Marty University athletics with the coaches, as well as your host and the voice of Mount Marty University athletics, Tell Tanner.
Time for the Lancer Locker on this Monday. I'm Tell Tanner here for KYNT. We're ready to talk Mount Marty University football on this Monday afternoon. Afternoon? Yeah, it's after 5:30. Either way, it doesn't matter. But we're going to talk Mount Marty University football once again. I had the head coach of the Mount Marty University football program, John Michaletti, and the co-offensive coordinator and offensive play caller, and Josh Lewis in the booth a little earlier today to talk about the football team. And why are we bringing in the football team on the 9th of February? It's a solid question. I'm not going to lie. The answer is National Signing Day was just this last week. National Signing Day happened. Mount Marty has their 2026 recruiting class just about in the books. Obviously, there could be late transfers at any point, but they had brought in 10 transfers so far. They've brought in their freshmen, and most of them from the area as well. Obviously, returning a lot of players from last season. Mount Marty won 4 games, 3 in conference, had their first top 25 win, top 10 win, first one in their history. Great strides as always, and they're going to be back in action this spring. The spring season starts this upcoming Sunday is when they actually get back to work for real. April 25th will be the spring game. So we spoke with the head coach of the Lancers and co-offensive coordinator about this team and everything throughout the offseason. We talked about the offseason work that they've been putting in. We talked about the spring schedule, upcoming next fall, the schedule that's coming up. We talked about fifth-year options for some of the players that are going to be able to come back, as well as what everybody's kind of been up to lately. All that coming up next. We're going to take a quick break in a couple of minutes and get to it. We'll make things quick here in our Lancer Week in Review of stuff that has happened over the last couple days. With the basketball teams, they both suffered losses at the hands of Northwestern on Saturday. Both teams will now split the season with Northwestern, both road teams picking up wins there. Lancers swept Northwestern on January 7th in Orange City. Northwestern sweeps Mount Marty on February 7th in Yankton. Now, Mount Marty will host Midland for a doubleheader Wednesday evening, and these are massive games. Both teams really need a win here late in the season. So we'll have all coverage right here on KYNT. In track and field, they've got the last chance coming up on February 13th, the Mount Marty last chance at the First Dakota Fieldhouse here in Yankton. That is coming up here. Softball and baseball, they just started their season, and they both split the weekend. Mount Marty softball started with a win. They beat Culver Stockton College 5-1 was the final score there. They did fall 5-4 to Benedictine University as well. But for the Lancers, they really played well. It was Mount Marty who had 3 hits from Kayleen Jacinto, the right fielder, 3 hits and a run, leading in both categories there for Mount Marty. For the baseball team, they are 1-1 as well. They started the 2026 season, splitting their season in 2 games with Mount Mercy. It's MMU versus MMU once again this year. They are playing, I think still right now, down in Nebraska versus Mount Mercy. They split yesterday 1-1. The Lancers fell in the first game 21-7, a rough start to the season, but they did get the win in the second game. Lucas Kampshoff went 3 for 4 with a run scored at the plate in game 1. In game 2, Mount Marty had a walk-off 3-run home run from Tyler Vance, the shortstop, to win 13-12 in game 2. Vance went 3 for 4 with 4 runs and 5 RBIs in that win. Lancers, once again, playing Mount Mercy 2 more games this afternoon. And that's about going to do it for a quick week in review here on the Lancer Locker. Let's go ahead and take a break now. We'll come back and talk Mount Marty University football, talk about the recruiting, talk about these 2 guys, what they've been up to, and one of my favorite things we talked about was their play calling inspirations, where Mount Marty kind of gets their play calling inspirations from. That upcoming next on the Lancer Locker on KYNT.
A big thank you from Mount Marty University to one of Yankton's greatest employers and friend of the community, Aztec. They're very proud to support the Mount Marty Lancers. The vision at Aztec is to build industry-changing solutions that create life-changing opportunities. And you can build a career with the group that's built to connect from rock to road. Click careers at aztecindustries.com. Best wishes, Mount Marty, from your friends at Aztec.
Carbless handcrafted premium cocktails are a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila-based cocktail with no carbs, no sugar, gluten-free, and only 100 calories. It's guaranteed to be bursting with flavor in every sip. The Carbless Mix Pack is sure to please any crowd with a compilation of all the best-selling ready-to-drink cocktails, including sweet, citrus, and a twist of tequila flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and margarita. Grab some today. Carbless Cocktails. Less is more. There's a difference when a convenience store is locally owned, and you feel it the moment you stop at Triple Time Rudy's. You'll get great quality fuel to keep you on the move, plus local and regional favorites like Dimmick Cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner Lockers. It's the kind of place that's convenient and connected to your community. Conveniently located at 17th and Broadway, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling your community.
Those are the sounds of loyal companions looking for a new home and family. The Heartland Humane Society has dogs and cats looking to become a new member of your family, ready for adoption today. Every animal available for adoption is vaccinated, spayed or neutered, microchipped, and dewormed, saving you over $200 or more in vet care while giving you a loyal friend. Come visit all available animals at 3400 East Highway 50 Yankton or online at heartlandhumanesociety.net.
Here at Runza, customers always ask us,
why do you trick us into eating cabbage?
No, they ask, when are you going to bring back the Italian Runza sandwich? And the answer is, right now.
Cool, the Italian Runza's back. What is an Italian Runza?
It's got ground beef, Italian sausage, black olives, mushrooms, mozzarella, and savory tomato sauce.
And no cabbage. What's Italian for sign me up?
Good question. The Italian Runza is back for a limited time. Runza makes it all better.
Beef, pork, seafood, poultry, and more, all at the Meat Lodge in Yankton. Get top quality meats at great prices. They have specialty items like lamb, brisket, bison, mahi-mahi, crab legs, and lobster. They even have non-meat options like Dimmick cheese, pickled items, seasonings, and sauces. The Meat Lodge in Yankton on the way to the lake on Highway 52. For more, call 689-3000 or go to themeatlodge.com.
All right, back here on the Lancer Locker on KYNT 102.1 FM AM 1450. Let's talk Mount Marty University football. It is February 9th. National Signing Day was just last week, and that was the whole reason I scheduled these two guys to come into the booth. It wasn't even because of the Super Bowl, but that is a happy accident. Let's welcome in John Michaletti, the head coach of the Mount Marty University Lancers, and Josh Lewis, the co-offensive coordinator and the play caller on the offensive side of things. Guys, thank you for coming back and talking with me. It's been a moment, a couple months since we've had you in the booth. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, glad to be back in the good old hot seat here with you, I guess.
Yeah, we'll talk everything going on. But we got to start with that Super Bowl, the most recent event from yesterday. Did you guys get to watch the game?
Of course, and it was went as expected, I guess.
Yeah.
You expected there would be a little bit of highs for the Patriots, and you were hoping for a good game. But yeah, the Seahawks all year have just been so dominant. Both sides having good defense was always good, but just not having the experience yet on that offensive side for the Patriots really, I think, kind of showed. And having that extra run game, Kenneth Walker, man, he deserved that MVP.
Yes, he
Very
did.
special player.
No, that was really cool to see. And the Seahawks winning there. As a Broncos fan, I couldn't root for the Patriots. I just couldn't get it done. But I also, on the Seahawks, blew the Broncos out in the Super Bowl just a couple years ago. This was a hard one for me. But anyways, let's get back. Watching the Super Bowl as a defensive-minded head coach, as you obviously played on the defensive side of things in your playing days and defensive play caller for the Lancers, that had to be kind of fun watching a defensive Super Bowl, though, back-to-back kind of years, too, as the Eagles went crazy last year defensively.
Yeah, and it's one of the fun things of coaching, I'm assuming with other sports as well, they have the same issue where things just kind of evolve, change, and then come back around. And there's been a lot of tendencies in college and in the pros right now with how heavy pressure teams are doing or having success doing that right now. And there was a lot of pressuring last night for a Super Bowl game, which usually you can be kind of a little choosier in the past. And these last few years, they've been amping up the pressure, which is, exciting and brings a little bit more excitement to that defensive side of the ball.
Now, I got to ask a question here for both of you, and I want you to think about this because this is kind of a cool thing. The NFL always calls itself a copycat league. Coaches always say that. Everybody steals from each other, and they have to keep cycling in new things. And I assume the GPAC has got to be similar to that. Do you notice that? Guys in the GPAC saying, we came up with something cool, and then somebody else is going to run it here in a couple weeks? Or do you see like major colleges? You see like UCLA run this, and you're like, okay, we got to put this in. Does that happen?
All of that, every which way that you can picture. That's kind of funny you say that because I remember last season, Coach Lewis and I were having a meeting for a game plan, and I was like, you notice that each team's offense complements and gives their defense fits their exact defense. I was like, it's for a reason. They're really good at this because during spring ball, they're stopping that over and over and over again, or vice versa. And then you dive into what you were saying, from big college football, like whether it was a change in an RPO or how they're reading the RPO or how they're disguising a pressure on defense, that stuff gets copied. And I would say the defensive stuff from the NFL to college is the biggest difference because really a defensive coordinator in the NFL isn't highly trying to stop the run as much as a college defensive coordinator is. They're just trying to survive and make sure they're not giving up the big play in the NFL. So that's a little bit different, but no, there's still a lot of stuff that, you try to steal and all that. And
that's what Seattle was really good at. They stayed in too high safety the whole game because their D linemen are just forces of nature. You can play super safe on the back end and you're not going to hit an explosive. And Shanahan went in and talked about that. I think I read, he's like, I've been trying to figure out that defense for 2 years. And he's like, if you can't get those safeties to move up, and they can stop the run, that's a tough thing to stop.
So talk about Mount Marty and your inspirations as play callers, as you're always implementing new things. Where do you think you guys get inspiration from when you're bringing in new plays? Is there, even thinking back to when you first built these playbooks that are going on, where did you really draw inspiration from? Start with Coach Lewis this time.
I think our mentor, Matt Drinkle, he obviously has a strong influence on that. The core of our system.
Who's coaching up in some action?
Yeah,
right?
He's the head coach at Central Michigan. And then I'd say my dad has had some influence, not necessarily the scheme, but more of philosophy of, hey, it's okay to run that play again. If it's working, you don't need to come up with 50 new things type of mentality. And then I'd say some of it's talking with Coach Michaletti. I like talking to defensive guys, trying to figure out, hey, what puts you in conflict and those types of things. And then you have I have other buddies in the profession that are other offensive guys that you just kind of talk to, and usually when you talk about it with it, you can picture it in your head, but I like to watch the film. And so during the off season, you share stuff and you can kind of, once you see it on tape, it's like, ooh, do I really like that? Do we have the guys to do that? Yes or no? But that's kind of the core of it. And then over time you adapt with, maybe it's a new idea. I know we do some things that on offense that not a whole lot of people do in our conference. That's like, hey, that makes us different. So you want to be a little different in something. So, but the core is the same, I think, for most teams across the board. You're going to have some type of inside run family that you fall in love with, some type of pass family that you love with, and that's kind of common across the board. But yeah, just talking to people is how you expand on that.
You take a lot of inspiration from similar guys over there?
Yeah, and he hit it on a nail on the head there, and I believe all good coaches should do what their best players do well. So that's got to go into it, and then obviously being a defensive guy, well, what do we have to stop for him? What do I got to face? What do they have to? What kind of shell am I getting, and what kind of coverages am I getting? What kind of front am I getting? We'll also go into that, but I obviously was very close with Matt Drinkle, still very close with him, and that's how I kind of started to really think about defense, was learning offense and how to stop. So I've always kind of the exact opposite of what Coach Lewis was saying, but played for a really great defensive coordinator in Jeff Gersh down at Angelo State, so I was able to communicate with him still. Joey Woodley, the new head coach over at Drake, and then Travis Johansson, who actually just went over to Rutgers. He was a guy that back in 2015 got real close with, and just such a bright mind. And I know that there's probably some sad or mad Yote fans, but he definitely brought some good stuff here to South Dakota, and excited to see what he does over there on the East Coast.
Let's talk about the Mount Marty guys for a moment as we turn to the off-season program, as it is getting close to mid-February here, getting close to spring ball. So what has the off-season program looked like in the last couple months since we spoke to you in terms of lifts, in terms of anything, organized practices? What's going on?
Yeah, a lot of so this upcoming Sunday is the end of our dead week, so that's when we'll start our active weeks again, where we can throw a football in there and get doing football stuff. So a lot of lifting right now, and a lot of team bonding and team leadership building training, all that stuff. So it's been a very active last few months. But yeah, there's some guys that have really starting to step up, trying to address issues from the last few years, and that's one of those things that I've really enjoyed this year is our leadership group and some of those conversations that we've had, and solving some of the problems, putting them through different scenarios where they're able to now think things through. So then when it comes time in spring ball and there's an issue, like we can fix that ahead of time because we've already been through some of this stuff. So some young guys stepping up, some returners that are very hungry. So I'm excited to get these guys to have pads on, which starts March 17th, actually, is the beginning of spring ball.
And when is the actual spring game this year?
April 25th.
April 25th. Keep that in mind. We'll talk a little bit more about it in a little bit. But now I want to talk a little more off-season, as maybe this is the first time some Lancer fans have heard your guys' voices. It is not the first time they have seen your athletes throughout this winter, because every time you turn into a Lancer basketball game at home, they're there, they are loud, and they are impacting the game, and that has really been fun to see. I talked with head coach Alan Bertram for the Mount Marty women's program, who told me that some of your guys are actually their practice squad as well. Yeah. And not only do they come practice with the women, they bring their own set of fans. Sometimes they literally just bring in 20 guys from the football team cheering on practice, going crazy, and that is hilarious and awesome, and I love everything about it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things that we try to focus on in the off season is bettering the community, whether that's the Mount Marty community or Yankton community. So whether it's community service or supporting the athletes there on campus in some way, shape, or form is a big part of this off season, and then what the Benedictine values are. So Coach Bertram a year ago approached me and was like, hey, if you're comfortable with it, having a few guys being able to give our girls a scout, it'd help us out a lot. And we handpicked a few guys, and a few of those guys were able to now lead it going into this next year. And they take it serious. I'm in a group chat with them, and they're sitting there getting fired up, all that. So it's kind of fun to kind of see it happening there. But no, it's a great group, and I love going to those basketball games. I take my kids to those basketball games. It's one of the things that we do as a family, and having that student section there and having them factor in the games. I was telling Coach Bertram and Coach Authier, I was like, hey, we got to get more home games because our guys feel like they're part of the team, and they're like, they are, so that's another tip my cap to those coaches, though, because they've done a great job in everything that they've done in basketball so far.
And a really cool thing for y'all, it makes it easy for your guys to root for the basketball teams. You get to see rugby play, obviously, your starting quarterback. Coach Lewis, that's got to be fun to see your starting quarterback out there slinging it still on the court.
Oh, yeah. I had a funny conversation with him on Thursday or Friday. I like to randomly text him just a random question. I was like, hey, man, can you dunk a basketball? Because we were asking guys on our football team about it. And he was going through saying, no, I don't think I can. Like, he can, rim graze it or something like that. So we were going back and forth bantering, and I was like, I think you can. I think if on a fast break with the crowd and adrenaline, I think you could, if you really wanted to, you could get up and do that. And if you could imagine with the football guys there, if rugby would pull something off like that, I just feel like that place would go nuts.
Oh, it would go
just
insane.
So, but no, because he's gotten so much bigger physically. Like, he put on 25 pounds from last year, even basketball season to now. And so when he drives the lane sometimes, and I think, who they play last time at home?
In Northwestern?
No, before
Waldorf.
that. Why am I blanking?
The Wednesday game.
Yeah. Anyways, he drove the lane and trucked a dude and went up for the layup, and I'm just kind of I like that. It's kind of like football on a basketball court. He does those things. And so I'll point that stuff out, try to get him to laugh a little bit, because
it was a Hastings.
That'd be the Hastings game.
Yes.
They won 64-52 in that one on this last Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, January 28th. Yeah, I remember that play. It was a good one.
Yeah, so because he's the ultimate competitor, that's what makes him him. But I just try to, in this time of year, just try to make light of some stuff and get him to relax when I'm around him. I don't want him to think about football or anything. Like, just go be the best in basketball right now, and we'll get you back whenever that is. And so whenever we do interact, it's very light. It's nothing too serious. I just want to make sure he's doing good and staying healthy.
We got a lot more coming up with these two guys, head coach John Michaletti, Josh Lewis, the co-offensive coordinator, next on KYNT. We still got to talk about National Signing Day. We got to talk about the schedule coming up, the spring schedule, everything in between. That coming up next on the Lancer Locker on KYNT.
From the first wails of surprise to first day of school questions, playground adventures, learning to drive stress, and graduation cheers, they'll always be your little sunshine. At Avera Children's, we get kids, teens, and parents too. We'll step you through first checkups, milestones, sickness, and specialized care when your child needs it, and treat them like our own every step of the way. Learn more at avera.org/children's.
Mount Marty coverage on KYNT and KYNT-TV courtesy of Michelob Ultra. The holidays are over and it's time for a new year. The year you vow to finally lose those extra pounds. Healthier food choices, more exercise, and Michelob Ultra. With just 95 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs, you can enjoy the crisp, refreshing taste of Mick Ultra without compromising a healthier lifestyle. Live fit, live fun, live Ultra. Get some at your favorite place to buy beer.
When First Dakota National Bank created Dakota Mac in 1993, we knew we could offer ag producers something few other banks dared to. Long-term, fixed-rate loans for ag real estate refinances and purchases. Today, we go by Landera, and we provide the same great service. And even more banking options to help your operation thrive for generations to come. Banking evolves. Trust endures. Landera, a division of First Dakota National Bank.
At Parker of Yankton, we are powered by the hard work of our employees, the loyalty of our customers, and the support of our community. Together, we're engineering success like never before. Looking to start the new year with a career where you're valued and appreciated? Join the Parker team today. Visit parker.com to apply. From all of us at Parker of Yankton, thank you for making this year unforgettable.
Parker, engineering your success.
To a fresh start and boundless opportunities, here's to a new year of success and celebration from all of us at Parker of Yankton.
The SureCo exclusive SureLink wireless remote system features the most advanced industrial Bluetooth technology and best-in-class express operation. Operate any SureCo electric product with the SureLink Pro and EZR remotes or with your smartphone using the SureLink app. To learn more, contact your authorized SureCo distributor or find us at sureco.com. Demand the best. Demand SureCo.
Hi, I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate. Buying or selling a home can be complicated, but with 20 years of experience, I'm here to put you at ease and make the process as easy as possible. We offer moving boxes and the use of our courtesy trailer to make your real estate journey a smooth one. Call me, Deb Speck, with Vision Real Estate, 605-664-5555.
All right, back here in the Lancer Locker on KYNT with John Michaletti, Josh Lewis in the booth. Mount Marty football on this February 9th as National Signing Day was just this last week, so it felt like a good time to get you in. But before we get there, let's get personal, guys. I want to get an update on the two of you outside of football, outside of coaching. John, I know you got kids in school. That's different. Can you tell me about your family and how things are going there?
Oh, man, it's ever eventful. You know, Jack's in second grade here. They're all getting ready to have spring soccer season, so I know that's coming up. But, no, Jack's still the assistant in the office when he gets off of school, swinging by the office and dapping everybody up or whatever. His new thing now is paper football. He's learned how to do that. And I was like, so that makes me a proud dad moment of how I distracted myself throughout classes as well. But, yeah, no, Scotty and Ridge are both at in preschool and very excited. They were, as I mentioned earlier, with the basketball games. That's their favorite thing to do every week is get together and go to the basketball game. And you know, there's a few dunks in the warm-ups. That's probably Ridge's favorite part. But you know, and then my wife, of course, she's ever busy and they're always supporting how she can be the best coach's wife that she can be. And making sure that she still holds me accountable at the same time, which I know is a tough task all together. So,
which is a good thing. You got to be a good husband, not just a good coach.
Exactly.
Got to balance it.
Yep.
For Coach Lewis, how you doing these days?
I'm doing well. My family's down in Kansas still. My sister and brother-in-law, they're rocking and rolling in Wichita. And then my parents, they're in Winfield, Kansas. My dad's the head high school coach down there, and so he's living the same thing. They're going through off season, doing all that. And then my mom, she's the ultimate football fan. She loved football since she was born. That side of the family she's from Kentucky, so it's been football forever for her. She's doing great. She's a teacher, and so she's loving that. She's teaching English, I believe. This year she kind of moved over from a different department. So, but no, they're good. They'll be up here this semester, usually either the spring game or my birthday is in March, and so either they will come up and be around for that, which is usually around we have a spring practice somewhere in there. If not, then they'll be up here for the spring game, so I'll see them and we'll hang out.
Nice.
So,
a young coaching staff at Mount Marty for sure. What are you turning this year? What's your birthday?
I'm turning 30.
Turning 30?
Yeah, the big 3-0.
This is the big one, man. Are you ready for it?
I think so. Someone was giving me a hard time at the basketball game. Someone, and they're like, yeah, something in there being in your 30s. And I'm like, hey, easy. I'm still in my 20s for a month and a half. So
still got another month
I'm not in the 30s yet. So.
Oh, man. I could kind of relate. I turned 27 this year, so now I'm in my late 20s.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan.
Man.
Not a fan.
You blink, and now I'm turning 30. And
you guys are so young.
After that, everything's going to go so fast, I guess.
So speaking of the youngins, let's turn to the freshman class this season, as it was National Signing Day this last Wednesday. And I know you guys can't give me all the specific names of the freshmen coming in, but can you give me some overall thoughts of this class and kind of area, what's all going on?
Yeah, very excited about this group we have coming in. We have 12 from South Dakota and 10 from Nebraska. As we've continuously mentioned, continuously getting that circle down to having, around 3-4 hours around Yankton to try to master that radius. Guys that have won state championships, competed in state championships, been all state and had success in many ways. And I know we do our recruiting a little bit different than everybody else, and spend a little bit more time individually with them to really make sure that we're bringing in the right pieces, and when you're dealing with something so precious of this 4-year experience, and making sure you're not bringing in the wrong person to mess it up. As my dad always said, you're an average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, so as I'm talking to these recruits and making sure that they're the right fit for us, I got to make sure that I continuously bring in the right pieces for the locker room to elevate the locker room in the right way. It's not just talent, but bringing in the right people as well. It's very fun. I know it is a long task and all that, but there's a lot of joy in that, and having a lot of experienced but detail-oriented coaches, is very crucial to that. I can't say enough nice things about the assistants and all that stuff, of doing a lot of that legwork of getting those guys to campus and doing the follow-up calls, the letter writing, so on and so forth, to build these relationships up where they start to trust them to come on campus to really meet us. Is very lucky to have these guys.
Talking about some of your returners here as well, as obviously you got a lot of guys coming back. Like we mentioned, rugby a little earlier, who's playing basketball right now. And something you told me right before we turned on the mics here today, even a 5th-year option for a guy that we weren't sure whether y'all were coming back. And that's DJ Brown, which is really cool. Another good piece there.
Yeah, DJ is able to now get they were finding a red shirt in his freshman year, so he's able to now play a true senior year, which is always something when you're dealing with transfers, trying to find that right paperwork to figure things out for these guys and give them the path that they need. We got to make sure we do that the right way and make sure that they stay on pace to graduate and abide by all the NAI rules. But sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get an answer, and it was nice getting that this weekend, that he will be cleared. And he was a little bit choked up himself and all that, but I know that the teammates are going to be even more excited when we let them know later today that he'll be back there in the fall.
That'll be really cool. That'll be a great moment there. And I also got to ask, as this brings up a topic that we had talked about a little bit this fall, and honestly, I've not heard anything about it. There was a conversation of just a blanket 5th year in the NAIA that I haven't heard any update on. Can you give me, is that happening? Is it not? Anything?
So what happened was the NCAA Division II decided to push it back 2 more years, just to buy more time to collect more data and do that and make the right decision for the masses of the people. The NAI did not put a date on that, but they decided to do the same thing, to push it back until a further date to once again help. And I understand it's hard being a fall sport guy thinking like, well, this is unfair for fall, but you got to think of, basketball, who's in 2 different semesters, baseball, who's at the end. So collectively, when's the right time to announce this that the most people can make the best decision for them? So as it is, frustrating because you want everybody to be able to compete and be as competitive as it is. I do understand that, hey, we got to get the right data to make the best decision for the most people.
So still watching and waiting on that one is basically.
Yeah, we won't probably have another decision probably for at least another year and a half, to be honest.
All right, we'll talk about it then at that point. Let's go back to the off-season program. As you mentioned, this week you're finally going to be able to get in and do active practices. Is that correct? Which date? What date is that?
Actually, Sunday.
It was yesterday.
Start that. No, this upcoming Sunday.
This next Sunday.
This upcoming Sunday we'll be able to start our active weeks there.
So what are the plans for active weeks? What are they going to look like?
So now we'll be able to start to install some of our offense, defense, and some of our base stuff, be able to go right into our turf to, have those guys be doing football and position-specific movements with the ball, things like that, where, when we get going for spring ball, they have a little bit of a foundation, So a lot of it is in the classroom, which I think is the most important part, is the mental side. Everybody runs certain things and all that, and then techniques are very important. But like I said, the mental side and developing, getting everybody on the same page is uber important.
And that spring game coming up, I believe you said April 25th, correct?
Yes, sir.
That is a Saturday, last Saturday before you get into the end of the semester as well. A good time for that. So make sure you all come out and watch some Lancer football. This upcoming fall, can I ask about the schedule? Let's talk about everything going on there. And obviously, you're going to play the GPAC, which we know the opponents there. Non-conference game. Can I get an update?
Yeah, Clark gets to come back to our place this year. As we all know that we went there last year, so now it's a home and home. They get to come back this year, and we'll have our non-conference game at home for the first time in a very long time. So we'll have a Dakota State scrimmage before that, which we've always done, which is a chance that we get to host that this year. But yeah, right in Clark, 1 o'clock. What is that, August 29th? And then we get Briar Cliff back home again, which is a traveling trophy. I know we had them home last year, but I don't make the schedules. They just give them to me. So,
well, fair enough. You don't get to do that, but that's funny. And you got a couple of traveling trophy schedules coming, which is kind of fun. You got a couple of those now. The one from presentation, I assume, is just still in the locker room, right?
Yep, that's cool. It's always in there. That's forever ours.
It's going nowhere.
And you get to get a couple of those back in there this fall as well. I assume the guys a little motivated to get those back in the locker room.
Most definitely. It's something that is at the forefront of our minds. That's for sure.
So as we finish up here today, is there anything more that the two of you want to put out there about Lancer football this spring, and maybe encourage people to come out to that spring game? Practices starting here soon.
Yeah, so practices start March 17th. As we mentioned, April 25th will be the spring game. It is open to the public, so feel free to come on out and enjoy some spring football, as we'll all be itching to get our football fix right around that time. Our guys are doing an excellent job of representing Mount Marty with class and all that, but as well of coming together with the family. And that's what I'm really hoping that we get a show there on April 25th of how close of a brotherhood this team's really become, and have some fun doing it in the meantime.
Well, thank you guys for coming in. I know this is last time we'll have you in the booth for a little while, but we'll definitely see you and your team at basketball games, which has just been something that has been so great. That Simple Arena has been packed this winter.
No, it's been rocking, and that's Coach Bernardo. That was one thing that he was like, hey, let's make sure we finish these basketball seasons off the right way, and having the other sports be able to support those sports through that as part of the Mount Marty family. So, yeah, glad we get to be a part of it.
Well, guys, thank you very, very much for coming in and talking with me again. I always appreciate and love having you guys in. Thanks for talking with me about the Super Bowl, your inspirations, which I thought was kind of fun, and, of course, your team itself.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you guys. We'll talk again soon. This is the Lancer Locker on KYNT. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll come back in a couple of minutes and wrap things up. This is the Lancer Locker.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. CoreTrust helps your business thrive with checking, online bill pay, small business loans, credit card processing, local approval and support for government grants and loans, investments to grow your hard-earned assets, and insurance to protect them. All from CoreTrust, the community bank that's right down the street and everywhere you want us to be. Visit CoreTrustBank.com today.
Member FDIC.
In nearly every family's lineage, there's a tie to agriculture. It's a legacy reflected in how we raise our kids, help our neighbors, and respect what we have. Farmers Union Insurance was built on that legacy. And while our roots are in agriculture, our protection has grown to include home, auto, business, health, and life. Protect your legacy. Farmers Union Insurance.
Call Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykrow or visit them at Suite 101B Morgan Square in Yankton.
Hey Lancer fans, time to hit the court at Lewis & Clark Ford. The Ford F-150 is your power forward, strong and ready for any challenge.
The Ford Escape is your point guard, fast, agile, and perfect for daily drives.
The Ford Explorer is your center, big, bold, and built for the whole team. Meet our new finance manager and sales manager, plus an all-new sales team, bringing fresh hustle and hometown heart.
Check out the full lineup at lewisandclarkford.com.
Lewis & Clark Ford, your home court for unbeatable deals, right at 4th and Capitol in Yankton.
Long day, good day, either way, Yankton Pizza Ranch makes it easy. Our buffet is always ready with fresh pizzas, mouth-watering desserts, and the country's best chicken. No waiting, no stress, just grab a plate and enjoy. So when you need comfort made simple, make today a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch. Buffet every day from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Slumberland Furniture is your local destination for top brands like Lazy Boy, Ashley, Flex Steel, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and more. Carrying a full range of mattresses and furniture for every room in your home, you'll find styles you'll love at values that make sense. From everyday essentials to name brand comfort, Slumberland offers the selection, and their service goes the extra mile. Visit Slumberland Furniture, 2401 Broadway in Yankton, where helping you create a comfortable home is what they do best.
And back here on the Lancer Locker for the final time. We'll wrap things up quickly here as we're getting late into the day on the 9th of February. That was head coach John Michaletti, co-offensive coordinator Josh Lewis, and the offensive and defensive play callers for the two teams in the booth for Mount Marty University football. That season starting once again this upcoming fall. Spring game will be April 25th. April 25th is the spring game. Make sure you come out to that one at the Crane Youngworth Field in Yankton. That's going to do it for me today. We're going to finish up here tonight. We'll be back Wednesday evening. Mount Marty hosting Midland in the Simple Arena in Yankton. Couple of must-win games for these programs. So we are getting late into the year. Seeding is massive in every game from this point on. Lancers need a couple of wins on Wednesday. We'll have all coverage right here on KYNT and KYNT-TV as well. Thank you for listening. We'll finish it here. I've been Tel Tanner. This has been the Lancer Locker on KYNT.